I swear at one point we were talking about getting Lisa to redo that intro.
What were you looking at on the roof that got Tyler looking?
Thinking.
It made Tyler look, though.
It did. I saw you. You
Right
followed
away.
my gaze upward to nothing.
Oh,
I might just do that randomly to see if I can get you to do it all podcast.
I have never noticed we have a wood roof.
There's no chance.
I just never.
Come on.
Never really.
What did you think the roof was?
I don't know. I never thought about it. It's interesting.
My favorite part is that construction man Tyler was tasked with painting the wall, and it doesn't go all the way up to the roof.
Yeah.
It only goes to where the camera would see it.
Yeah,
I knew exactly what you were going to say.
and I don't like. I get it. I'm with you.
Oh, damn, that is.
It's efficiency.
Have you not noticed that either, Liam?
He had to do no edge
I
work.
never looked that high.
Did you tape over the windows, though? Because there's a straight line there.
Yeah, I taped from the window line across because I
Oh,
knew
wow,
we would
yeah,
never
you-
shoot higher than the windows. And then on top of like the TV area, I just got close to the vent and I was like, meh, good enough.
I think we should put a picture up.
I was going to say, well, because recently
forget the wooden ceiling.
our podcast studios have been just getting dragged by people that are visiting. They're like, wow, that's a lot smaller than I thought it
Yeah,
was.
people do say that.
It's-
I say.
How big do they expect them to be?
I think
Yeah.
it's a credit to Tyler's construction work. It's a credit to set designing within the network now, because it just makes these rooms feel way more expansive. This room is smaller than the basement that we used to record in Little Brick.
Yeah, so if you're watching the show, if you're one of the people
Which
that
is
watches
wild.
it on YouTube, the room we do this show in, which keep in mind houses the four of us on camera, BM, the producer's desk, and all of the stuff.
Yeah,
And the full furnace room.
And we're also attached to a furnace room. This is what, maybe 12 by 10?
Should we count?
Arguably, what more do you need when it comes to a podcast?
Well, probably an extra foot on both sides for this camera.
Well, the reality was when this thing got built or planned, I don't
That's
know
what I
how
mean.
much the video aspect of the podcast were part of the original
Totally.
plans for this building.
Yeah.
Well, if we just cut a hole in the wall, the camera would fit further back. It'd be fine.
Something to consider.
Actually
Don't give me ideas.
we did talk about that once.
Well, you can see next to it, I had the original idea of mounting the camera on the wall, and then the problem was it just wasn't super adjustable.
See, but that's what I'm saying. If you cut the hole, then you can attach it to the backside of the drywall on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's
Do you
probably
know-
perfect.
Or alternate idea, everything shot on a fish eye lens.
It would work.
That's a good idea.
See?
Remember we used to do we used to have that big, we had the big table in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also had.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Green screen.
the green screen.
Carpet.
And if you look, the hole's still there for that where the green screen was, and the hook is still on this side.
And I bet
So if
behind
we ever
what
wanted
you,
to go back,
I bet what you see behind that TV, if you're watching on the YouTube side, is the hole or patch in the drywall when Woz ripped off the Daily Face-Off sign.
oh yeah, that's right there. And the drywall's still on the.
Yeah. we had a big Daily Face-Off sign on the wall that I screwed into the wall.
Yeah.
And then also used the adhesive that came into the sign to like double put it on. And Waz one day was like, I had to take it down because I was doing Oilersnation stuff. And it's like, okay, well, do you think he got a screwdriver, took the screws out, or a drill? No, he just grabbed the sign with two hands and ripped as hard as he possibly could and just yanked 4 screws out of the wall.
Is that not how you would have done it?
Personally, no.
Woz is every teenager ever.
Yeah,
Just is.
he is.
Woz, I'm going up against him in fantasy football this week, and the heel Woz in fantasy football is unrelenting.
His comments in the chat is so funny. Like clearly ripping him right out of an article and putting it in the chat. But earlier this week, he picked up Antonio Gibson, who is basically irrelevant
It's terrible.
to football. But Waz picked him up in the case that Ramondre Stevenson, who he just referred to as Ramondre in the chat, got injured. And then last night, obviously, the Patriots and the Jets played,
Yep.
and you have the the Ramondre.
I do, yeah.
And Waz had to start Gibson
Yeah.
out of pride,
Yeah.
and he outscored you.
He did.
Yeah.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
I would have never, ever done that.
He did do that. And then what happened as that was happening, I'm getting DMs in our fantasy football league. Woz is also texting me.
Like,
He
it's
is
out of control.
like you can't stop him.
He got so
gotta
upset
beat
at
him.
me yesterday when I told him to stop texting people about the trade offers. Like, when you send a trade offer, they get a notification. It already gets sent to them.
Turn those on.
But then he texts you and DMs you to let you know. And I'm not even in the league. By the way.
He'll because I want Justin
I have
Jefferson.
other leagues where there's texting on there. Hey guys, just
That's
so you know,
insane.
I sent you a little something.
I want Justin
name.
Jefferson. Waz has him. So he put him on the block. So I was sending, admittedly, shit trades because I want him. So Waz will be like, I countered, but he'll tell me on Instagram and in the app, just no matter where I am online, I'm going to know. That Waz has another trade for me.
He's working efficiently.
Yes.
Yeah, funny. His name
Tyler?
is Wasdemption season, by the way.
I am the Chupacabras.
I'm hurt so good.
Yeah.
I have New York Jets tight end Ty Conklin on my team.
Oh, yeah.
And my team name is Ty Conklin 2006.
That is ridiculous. I sat here. If anyone sat around me last night, you can never trust anybody with the name Ty Conklin. I don't care if he was the greatest football player in the world. I would never, ever, 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 and I haven't, though he's not, put him on a team. Never. Not touching him.
And then you wouldn't name your team after him? Make
No.
your profile picture Ty Conklin
No.
in 2006?
No, that still hurts.
In the Oilers Hall of Fame room, they have Ty Conklin stuff in that little cabinet. When I was at the Halinka, I was reading it. It was I can't remember what it was. I think it was a stick or something.
It was
with the
mask.
Is that maybe that's what it was? His
It
mask.
was Outdoor
And yeah,
Classic or something.
yeah,
The stick
that's
from
what
when
it
he
was.
gave away the puck behind the net.
Yeah, I think so. That was the one.
Tyler, we talk about foosball all day.
Not
Business
Ty
to
Conklin.
attend to. You've got a delicious debate for us. What will it be? Presented by Liam's Wallet. Liam's the sponsor of the delicious debate today.
Small
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll be totally honest with you. Nothing happening in training camp really excites me all that much right now. So I decided to go a
Good.
different way with the delicious debate. Who is your all-time favorite preseason overreaction? Who did you buy into way too hard, boys?
Magnus Paajarvi Svensson.
Oh, without question.
Although, okay, so when you say which one did you buy into too much,
Yeah.
probably they're all like 1A, 1A, 1A. We'll just go back through the calendar. But MPS,
That hat trick.
right around that time with the hat
I was at that
trick,
game.
and the boys are coming, and Hope was here, and man.
I was at that game with Magnus Paajarvi where he scored the hat trick, and I remember telling my buddy, because we were splitting where we bought mini packs that year. I'm like, he's going to be the best of the lot. You just watch. Watch, because he was big. He had wheels. It seemed like he had some hands. And Magnus Paajarvi Svensson, I'm doubling down with Rick. He was without question.
You want to know a fun fact?
Or backing it up a little bit, I had high hopes for Marc-Antoine Pouliot.
Did he have a good preseason?
He had a
I
couple
think-
that were okay.
Yeah, I think the fact that he was attached to Crosby was the
Yeah.
thing about him.
And I bit hard on it.
So did I. That's like who is the big Russian we brought over here the same way that
Minov?
with the way Alexei Mikhnov came over the same kind of the same way Pittsburgh got Gino.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
He's our
found
big
our
Russian.
guy.
We're gonna have him, and
And that one didn't work, and I was like, it's okay because now it's a couple years later, and we have Bogdan Yakimov, and he's
Fucking
gonna
right.
figure that out. And that didn't work.
Great
either.
name too.
The second round pick the Oilers had to trade they traded away with Paajarvi when they got Perron was Ivan Barbashev.
Ooh.
So there you go. I don't really remember a preseason guy, but I have something similar if I can twist the question a little bit.
Sure.
When the
Actual player
Oilers-
you scouted. Go.
Please obey the
He's just
sanctity of
changing
the delicious
absolute
debate.
question.
Well, the hype around Justin Schultz when he was in the
fuck yeah.
Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
And he literally won Defenseman of the Year that year in the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the
trophy.
game. He scored his first NHL goal, and I think Yakupov also scored in that game too. I think it was against the Kings. No, it wasn't because this knee slide. Whoever it was against, San Jose maybe. So I was with Justin Schultz from, I guess, an extended preseason with OKC. That
And
was
the turmoil
amazing.
where he started too. Like,
Yeah.
you
He did the
don't know where he's
LeBron
going,
decision.
Go anywhere.
Yeah, it
And
was
we won
big.
that battle.
And that was like the first time I had been, like, as a new Canadian hockey fan, like exposed to that of like a free agency.
So you
guy.
started off with Hal Sutton.
Who?
No, Andy Sutton. No, Hal Gill. Who was your first
Andy,
guy?
Andy Sutton.
Andy Sutton. So you started off high hopes with Andy Sutton.
Yeah, that was
and took
big.
the next step up was right there.
Yeah, people in Edmonton are good at really building up this team, no matter what.
Yeah,
At the
that's
start of every
Buddy, we
season.
built this company on that. Dan?
So I was a member of the Sportsnet forums way back in the day. That was kind of where I introduced myself to the internet, and I was making graphics back then, and one of the first graphics I ever made, and I remember this like to the day, it was Gretzky, so the past, and then it was Ryan Smith, the now, and then it was Rob Schremp, the future.
Fuck yeah.
Rob Schremp, I have two stories because there was not only that, I thought he was going to be the second kind, like the next everything to be. And I think that was right around the time that they started doing the shootout as like a demonstration part of the game.
Yeah.
And of course, he was just lights out every time he was out on the shootout. But then I don't know if I want to get too deep into it, but I also tried to bring Robbie Schremp into the Nation Network years later when I caught on to some of his like recaps that he was doing after and then Jay reached out. It all fell apart after that. But anyway, so I've Rob Schremp. I've had high hopes for that guy my entire life, and it's always fizzled out for us.
The problem is, as you guys are talking, I too had high hopes for all of these guys. Like I think of Rob Schremp. Remember when the Oilers rookies would play the U of A?
Mm-hmm.
And they did the breakaway thing.
Oh yeah.
And he was one of the first people I had ever seen in full flight do like the lacrosse style shit.
Yes, yeah.
And I went, oh my God, this guy is out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like early internet days too, right? So
Yeah.
like you're looking at clips on YouTube and you're like, oh.
And then now you've got like 8-year-olds that do way cooler shit with the puck on their stick. And you go,
And
oh.
you had young Alish Hemsky. He was going to be setting up Robbie Schremp. They were just going to click. Everything was perfect.
I still love Al Shemke. I'm still excited about him. I think
That
he looks
team put
great.
out a lot of good players. That London Knights team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still do.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Like Sam O'Reilly.
Corey Perry.
Years from now, we'll have some kind of East or 30 for 30 where the London Knights were paying their players. And
Corey Perry.
It's like the worst kept secret ever. One
Yeah.
of the Kostitsin bros was like, oh yeah, we flew private with the owner. The rest of the team took the bus. I was
But
like,
the
oh my
Portland
God.
Winterhawks are have their draft picks still removed from paying for the families to go to games.
I have
We
a
had to play for fucking Peter Chiarelli and he got fired. It's ridiculous.
I have a couple.
But
I bit so hard on the Tyratty stuff.
we
that
named
I,
an award after him.
I traded William Nylander for him in a fantasy league.
Oh, yeah, that's
Al
bad.
Montoya first, though.
That is
True.
well. So there's the answer award, which is Al Montoya, and then there's the preseason champ, which is the Ty Ratty award. We're gonna be picking our Ty Ratty award winners later.
All right. Last year, Dylan Holloway obviously had like a banging preseason, or was it the year before?
Yeah, before. And
Year
then game
before.
one against Vancouver. Put it
Turned
right
over
on
the
the
puck.
tape.
They just never let it. But I'll give a special shout out to a guy who is unique in this conversation because he teased us preseason after preseason after preseason. Anton Lander got us good.
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
Future captain.
Yeah, he's gonna be a captain. right
basically
away.
every year, I feel like for a 3 to 4 year run, we'd sit there and be like, whew, Lander's looking good.
This is
Lander,
it.
he's going to settle into this 3C role and he's going to thrive. And every year it just didn't happen. But every year, we were like, hey, just give him like a month in Bakersfield and he'll be ready. And then he never was.
Preseason
Anton
is
Lander.
just such great, like, quadruple A hockey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's the best.
That dude is so good in the AHL.
Oh,
So-
man.
And couldn't like keep his
Yeah.
ears above water. I mean, that was this, you go back far enough. I think
His
what was
last
his name?
season.
Alex Giroux.
Oh, Alex Giroux, yeah.
Yeah, that was another guy who was just always
He won
leading
like
the
4
A
or
in
5
points,
Calder trophies.
and then coming
yeah.
up here and just not able to get it.
Who
done.
was that one, sorry?
Alexander Giroux.
Ah, yes.
He was in the capital or with Hershey for a few
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
He would score like
Washington area.
100 points a year in the A.
but he was like a sought after free agent in the AHL.
Yeah,
He was a guy you wanted on your team, but not on the
in
NHL.
the AHL. Yeah. Well, we'll try him. No, it didn't work. Okay, we'll put him back here.
Anton Lander. You know what else I bid on him from? I remember I'm like, I swear there was a moment where I was like, he has jumped from being an AHL guy to a NHL guy.
And he started
And it
looking like
was
a pirate.
the 2014-15 season. In 38 games, he had 6 goals, 14 assists for 20 points. So I was just like, hey, they got their 40 to 50 point third line center right there.
He just needs to get some traction.
Now he currently plays for Timra IK in the Swedish league.
Yeah.
Did we not fall in love with Jesse Joensuu in the preseason?
Uncle
too?
Yessie, yes. He would have been
Uncle
an
Yessie.
early Ty Ratty Award winner before the
That was-
award was created.
That was where Uncle Yessie came out of.
Yep.
Was the preseason, and then
Yep.
we just kind of let that die.
So,
In fact, I would
well, he kinda
retroactively
let that die.
award him a Ty Ratty Award as the commissioner of said award.
Yeah, I like that.
Giroux played 559 American League games and had 591 American League points.
Now do the NHL.
He had 48 games and 12 points. Really, too. Hey, for a 7th round pick,
It's just
that what it
wild.
was?
7th round pick in 99, 213th overall to Ottawa.
It's wild that no San Jose Sharks existed to just pick him up and put him
Yeah,
on the
just like-
line, on the top
He
line.
has Utah Coyotes written all over him
Yeah.
these days.
Anyways,
I
whatever.
want to know who you got most excited about. Hit us up on Radio Podcast, Twitter, and Instagram.
Is there ever a goalie we got too excited about in the preseason? I know, obviously, like Scrivens.
Jack
and
Campbell.
Rehabby Boolin
Oh,
was going to
Jack
be.
Campbell last year. That one
Oh,
bit us
that-
really hard.
Okay.
So true. We all believe.
We were all in on Jack Campbell
wanted to
last year in the
believe.
preseason.
That bit people so hard, including the Oilers coaching staff, that they played him opening night over Stuart Skinner.
That's true.
That to me is the most insane decision in my time as an Oilers fan. Was
Might
to
be why we
start
don't have-
Campbell game one.
Might be why we don't have
Crazy.
Woodcroft as a coach anymore.
Or he's not a coach anywhere. That decision solely.
Do you remember? So I was thinking about that game the other day because we're starting to put our events calendar together, and like season opening party, we're down at Greta, Oilers Canucks.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
fucking go.
8-1.
I will tell you, nothing drops a turd in the punch bowl quite like an 8-1 loss at your season open party.
I was begging Tyler from basically 3 minutes into the third period, like, can we please start the post game show? Like, I want to just go. And we started before the end of the game, I think. But yeah, every minute I was like, we got to do it. Wouldn't let me.
Let us know who you bit the hardest on during their preseason. Again, we're going to award our Ty Ratty Award predictions coming up a little bit in Ask the Idiots. The other thing I want to get to is training camp's underway. The boys are on the ice, and of course, that's when you get the updates. Evander Kane is basically broken everywhere.
He's injured.
Just in the middle area. Like I think his arms and his legs seem to be fine,
They seem to be fine.
but everything in the middle.
However,
seems to be an
everything
issue.
down Broadway seems to be broken. And I quote, "I'm having a lot done," said Evander Kane in his presser. He says, both abductors on each hip, 2 torn lower abdominal muscles, and 2 hernias.
How would that dude do anything this summer besides lay in a bed?
That's what I want to know. And like he would be on his Instagram golfing and shit. I'm like, how?
Yeah, that is uncomfortable.
Like just lift your leg up, and that's gotta hurt him.
Hurts me some days, and I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, I hurt myself getting out of bed sometimes, so like I don't know how he's doing it. Anyway, so Evander Kane will be getting surgery in the next couple of days. I thought the other interesting quotes that he talked about was he was asked kind of like the timeline, why he kind of went through the preseason. Why are you getting surgery for last year's injuries right now before the new season? And they're trying to work on the rehab for it. Also got a bunch of different opinions from 3 different doctors that all kind of said, no, you need this done. So there we go.
I think, too, if the Oilers, in a unique way, can use the excuse of what McDavid did when he didn't get surgery and he did rehab. Like,
The player
Like,
still has a decision in this, though.
totally.
So the Oilers don't need to really have.
100%. But
Bowman did say that ultimately at the end of the day.
I think that we all know why he's getting this now. So they
You'd
could.
like to think so, but at the same time, though, if you play up until if you play hockey up until June 24th,
It's not a big gap.
no,
Yeah.
and you do want to just get like rest
Totally.
and enjoy your summer a bit.
Handful
and
of rounds in there.
But wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, again, we all know why it's happening
Hey,
in like 2 days before the season
somebody's
starts.
going to be on to us.
don't
too.
forget, he doesn't get paid in the summertime. He's getting paid for this.
I mean, I'm sure his paychecks will kind of ride
You're going to have to
out.
budget, Liam.
Also,
There are no paychecks in July.
That's true.
listen, we obviously getting Evander Kane back for the playoffs, whatever. Like with Holloway kind of gone, it's like you do kind of want this guy back in the lineup. Scored 24 goals last year. The only part of the whole thing that made me roll my eyes was when he said he's been dealing with this since like last October. And then you think back to when the Oilers scratched him and Knobloch was like, yeah, he's a little banged up. We're giving him some rest. And then Kane came out and was like, no, I'm fine. I was like, well, you said then you were fine.
But they're all liars, though.
I know, but it was just like, God, just made me roll my eyes. That's all.
They're all liars. We're not going to have another Chalmers Christian McCaffrey argument here, are we?
No,
Oh,
no,
what did
no.
he say?
Oh, please give me a taste of this.
Chalmers was just like disgusted by the Niners not saying, and then he was like, they lied. That Mason guy came out and said that he was told Friday he was playing, and I was like, Chalmers, like the team, obviously they're not going to like say which way Christian McCaffrey's going to like give the other team
The
an
fact
advantage.
he wasn't on an injury report should
he-
be a little
But
bit
he was
stinky.
no, he was questionable.
I don't think he was on the injury report.
He was questionable the whole week.
And also, too, just on that,
If he was, then we're
teams
fine.
should not care about your fantasy football team. They care
don't.
about winning that
I know.
game
Exactly.
that day.
And that's what Tyler and I both kept saying to Chalmers is like, in that case, the 49ers owe you nothing.
I am a big sports bettor, but I roll my eyes so hard when people are like, there's so much money being betting on the sport. We need transparency. It's like, no, you don't. It's gambling.
It's part of the gamble.
Also, and I told this to Chalmers, he was like, it's like a disgrace. But I said, hey, for every person who's pissed off McCaffrey didn't play, there's someone who's thrilled Christian McCaffrey didn't play. They just won their matchup. And for everyone who bets on whatever, the Oilers, because they think Stuart Skinner's starting, and then the Oilers pull a fast one, and then it's Calvin Pickard starting that game, and you're like, my bet. There's someone who bet the opponent who's like, hell yeah, cashed it. So I don't know. I just think that whole conversation, I mean, like, we need to do it for the gamblers who watch the sport. It's like, no, you don't.
Also, most sports books will just pull it.
Oh, yeah, or they'll pull it.
They'll just help you out. I just say it's a poor argument. I agree.
To be a little nitpicky, though, questionable is
go.
25% chance of missing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Doubtful is 75%. They knew damn well he wasn't. They should probably have changed the tag.
Well,
however, I don't think it's that big.
One thing that didn't help them was the fact that Eagles announced that AJ Brown wasn't playing on Monday, on Sunday morning. So
yeah, some
it
teams
is
get ahead
different,
of
but
it.
also,
But I do think they probably sat there and took it the last minute.
Also,
I think
Chalmers,
so. Prayed
don't
for
set
it.
your lineups fucking 4 days early.
also true.
Hey, just
Dan has a different view, I can tell.
Yeah, I hear what Tyler's saying about the gambling side of things, but for the league itself to be in bed with the gambling, that's the element where it's kind of like you have to offer as much information as you can, and you can't be deceiving the people that are your clients.
But it's only being done if it's that's only a problem if it's deceptive.
Agreed.
And if they're on the
But-
injury report, then he's on the injury report. They're reporting
But
it.
leaving him off the injury report, and then when you kind of take it back to the hockey side of things, when you see Evander Kane out there golfing, if he posted that in the week, I don't know, it's that transparency piece that you're saying you're comparing it to the Eagles. The Eagles are giving it 110% versus the 49ers giving 0. So it's just a
And
balance.
the Eagles lost and the 49ers won.
Well, that seals it. End of debate.
Switching back to hockey quickly, Evander Kane literally just posted that he's had successful surgery. Long road ahead, but very grateful, which he's
Would you say the long
spelt
road
wrong.
is-
Yep, for my amazing surgeons and nurses.
That's the way you think.
just got out of surgery, expecting to spell things
Still
properly.
loopy. Come on,
Oh,
man.
he took a
How does
nice,
he know if it's a successful surgery?
took a nice
Because I
picture.
told him.
The recovery period might allegedly be 6 months-ish.
So how does that work
gotta
now
be,
officially,
though.
though? Because he's been given the surgery ahead of time, they have to put him on the LTIR now?
No,
or
they don't have to. They have enough money to keep him off.
Okay.
And then they can retroactively.
So it is just a payment thing. It's Daryl Cates' money versus not. Daryl
Exactly, yeah.
Cates'. Got it.
Hey, we're going to be accruing that cap space, baby.
Cool.
Speaking of Evander Kane going down, a couple of PTOs went out yesterday, including a slightly used Mike Hoffman. Coming in from the San Jose Sharks last year, he had 10 goals and 25 points. Thoughts on the Mike Hoffman PTO?
I think go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think I want to just throw out the caveat ahead of time because some people aren't aware of it. The issue, the red flag around him is around his partner, and they had some conflict allegedly with the Carlsons and specifically Mrs. Carlson on social media previously. Again, allegedly, and in my opinion, but that's the red flag that everybody's just been kind of worried about, I guess.
Was he in that Uber when they got recorded talking shit about their coach?
No, that was Chris Tierney, Matt Duchesne,
And Chris Weidman.
Chris White.
Who
Just
just announced
retired.
his
Former Oiler. I forgot about
Oh,
it.
they're
anyways,
great.
I would say
Yeah,
3% chance Mike Hoffman plays a game in an Oilers jersey this year.
I think that's way too high.
It might be.
So what do you think
Do you think he goes down to Baco?
Yes, that my theory is Bakersfield.
My theory
Where did
is
he
retirement.
He played in San Jose last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All year?
Just down the
Yeah.
highway.
Well, 60-some-odd games, yeah.
So
He was
enough.
there for the year.
What's
though,
it-
yeah.
How old is he?
34.
34?
And the reason he got this is because an ECHL player got injured at a rookie camp.
Yeah, I
This
think
was
he's
probably-
just a vet to take some spots. I don't see him playing any games.
So Rule 14.5 in the CBA dictates that at least 8 NHL veterans play in every preseason game. So when I saw that, I was like, hey, get on in there.
Does it say how many games those players need?
30 or
Yes.
more.
Oh, to be okay. So
But
that
our-
Jasper Weatherby would also be one. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our goalie, I think,
Calvin
D'Elia?
D'Elia.
He
Colin
probably has-
D'Elia, sorry.
Yeah, he probably has enough under his belt to.
I would think so. Yeah.
Old sneaky picks has got to sit in there every time.
The crazy thing for me with the Mike Hoffman edition is just when you look at his numbers from last year on a really bad San Jose team where he was given and gifted even power play minutes and extra ice time and was able to only put in 23 points, which makes him 7th best scoring on the San Jose Sharks behind Mikael Granlund, William Eklund, Fabian Zetterlund, Thomas Hertl, and Anthony Duclair.
Why don't you think he would go to Bakersfield?
To me, I just look at a guy whose best days are obviously behind him. And if you
don't
could
know
not get a 1-year deal from anyone in the NHL, and last year at the deadline, no one wanted to trade a 7th-round pick for you, you've made $45 to $50 million in your career. Don't you just kind of, unless he, again, the only thing we don't know, or I don't know in all this, maybe he just loves the game. And he's like, no, I want to play hockey for as long as my body will allow me to. Then, yeah, maybe he goes down and says, I'll make $150K, but I just want to play hockey. To me, I sit there and I go, a guy like that who's had success at the NHL level, who's been in the league for so long, with the money he's made, might just sit there and go, all right, this is my last kick at the cat. If no one gives me a 1-year deal out of this PTO,
I'm golfing this year.
That's the sport telling me.
You don't want to sit on the bus. 34 years old. You've been through a lot. Your best days are behind you.
Now you have to pay for dinner.
What you used to do.
And this is like now the third
and
chance.
now you got to go sit on a bus for an 11-hour ride to Kalamazoo.
It's like the third chance any team in the league has had to pick you up, and no one's touched you. If this doesn't work, I think he retires.
The counterpoint to that being, though, that you are just one injury away from that call-up to the best team, best offense in the league. I know, but like that's you have to see what the camp does, right? And obviously, but
yeah, I think it depends what they offer him. Like if you got offered a one-way deal, and we're like, you're actually just going to go to Bakersfield, but we will just pay you.
I liked your idea of like, hey, if you send him down there,
Because you do want Bakersfield to be competitive.
Totally.
and I liked your idea of like, if you send him down there, it actually gives Matt Savoy a good player to play with.
A line mate.
Yeah,
He essentially replaces
I
Lavoie.
don't mind that. Like, who knows if Hoffman's down for it? Like Rick said, like those bus rides would be slogs.
Totally.
He might be
doesn't have
taking
the
the old
boots.
charter for himself.
and to combine kind of everyone's points too, like to what Dan said, I'm sure at the end of training camp, the Oilers would have the conversation with him of like either,
You're
hey
17th
man,
forward.
you're our 17th forward, or hey, we actually really liked what you did, and yeah, if you take this 1 or 2 way deal, you're probably pretty high on our list of call-ups. Like
Yeah,
that
maybe
conversation
it
would be
is.
had.
I think one thing over the summer that the others tried to do is add depth to their team in Bakersfield, even with just the additions of like the young guys like Savoy and Javenti. So I think it's not too crazy to think he would go there, but I think the two options are Bakersfield or retirement. I don't think the NHL is really a play.
Well, it'd be interesting to see, like, I mean, if a team like, I don't know, the Sharks or something, see that they had a decent PTO in Edmonton, just be like,
Columbus.
just come back for another year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
They're gonna be
The
junk
Sharks
crazy.
probably have too much youth that you don't want to put a guy like that in the way. Columbus, maybe. But you'd like to
Well,
hope they have enough youth.
Tyler-
Or
Well,
they're
the
gonna-
Flames are going to be awful, so like he'd be like, "Well, maybe if something works out in Edmonton, I'll just go down the highway." A la Chris
Yeah,
Versteeg.
it's an audition for him, isn't it?
The other PTO that went out yesterday is Jasper Weatherby. I imagine it's Jasper.
More likely to get a contract than Mike Hoffman.
Last
Yeah.
year, he played the entire season, 66 games with the Milwaukee Admirals in the AHL, 12 goals, 13 assists for 25 points. To me, there's just depth. It's like what you said. Need the players play
Is he
down.
a center or a
Bakersfield.
winger?
He is listed as a centerman, a left-handed centerman. 6'4", big fella.
Interesting. I mean, he's still only young, 24.
26.
26.
Reached out to a guy in San Jose, and he told me he is one of the most likable people you will meet.
Glue
and
guy.
he actually said he wouldn't be surprised if one day he turns into fourth-line center. So
There's
Another
a
guy to
few
add
of
to the
those
mix.
guys.
ready
Add
to learn
to
the
the depth.
waiver wire, Derek Ryan.
right, Liam?
I think it's just good to add competition to camp, like you said.
It's
like
always
a
good to have
guy
competition.
who isn't 50, you know, one of these old aging guys that are the only guys we ever talk about getting PTOs. Like, sorry. The others added, besides Hoffman, who I don't think was in the plan, added Travis Dermott and Weatherby, who are like still young
Of those three,
players.
who gets contract, do you think, who's most
Dermott.
likely? Dermott? That would be my pick, just based
yeah,
on
I
what's
would
going
think
on.
he gets a two-way.
Dermott, Weatherby, Hoffman.
Yeah. I think actually, how many contracts do the others have left?
Keep talking, Liam. I'll find that for you.
I think Dermott would be good because the others simply don't have any left-handed defensemen.
Oh, they got lots of space. 43 of 50.
Ah, okay, they can get all three then. And I think Weatherby is interesting. I think he needs to, he's in a weird category because I don't think he has to outplay, I mean, he definitely should try, outplay Derek Ryan. But I would say his competition is going to be like Gruby and Noah Philp. Like, how does he compare to those guys? You got guys who are probably 2 or 3 years younger than him, if I'm thinking correctly. He's going to be taking their playing time in the American League. So if they show better than him in camp, why would they sign him?
Speaking of Derek Ryan, I encourage you to go over to the Oilers Nation Instagram page and watch the video where essentially the entire office united against Waz. Pretty much everyone. He just loves Derek Ryan is all.
Ain't nothing wrong with him. He just loves Derek Ryan.
Yep.
It's like the only competition.
You guys mentioned Roby Yarventi a little bit earlier. He is expected to miss all of training camp with a knee issue. It's a bummer for him.
It's too bad. I think he could have actually competed for something.
Yeah,
But
and
we
hopefully
always
the knee
want to
injury
see it.
isn't crazy that it doesn't put him too far behind.
But it gives Lavoie a good chance to, less competition for him. He's got to have a big camp.
Other Oilers adjacent news, word came out today that Jay Woodcroft, former friend, hanging out in Philly during training camp, just kind of on the invitation of John Tortorella. Woody's still looking for a job, but he's acting as a helper, a happy helper.
My guess is the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Mild.
He'll be the
Assistant
next
coach.
Red Wings head coach is my pick.
Full circle.
To the ice are playing.
Full circle.
Any other guesses?
San Jose.
They just hired someone.
Doesn't matter.
He's like 30.
Yeah.
Young
I can
man.
see him going to Calgary because they're going to be terrible for a while, and they're probably going to cycle through some coaches.
To your guys' point
Yeah.
earlier on Oilers Nation Every Day, though, like we did just go through a cycle of 20 coaches that got replaced. So
Totally.
there's going to be there's going to just be a wild card pick that nobody really planned for. But
Other news: Zach Cassian back in the organization. Jim Matheson, I think, was the first to break that one on Twitter. He is going to be a pro scout in Ontario. Finally, some scouting in Ontario.
what does a scout even do, Liam?
Selling our ass and watch hockey.
So-
cheeseburgers.
The first thing I'm
on the
looking
poutine
for
train now, actually.
is
Cheeseburger rating.
I look forward to that this year.
ZachCassian.scout on Instagram. That's the new account I'm looking for. So watch out for that one. I'm sure he's going to.
So inside information from me. I am the source. Zach Cassian was at all the Oilers Stanley Cup final home games in a suit.
Wow. Scouting.
So I think they actually have had him hired for months.
Yeah, I heard about this in like June or whatever it was.
Yeah, I heard May.
I heard it in January of last
Both
year.
heard about it. We were sitting next to each other.
I heard about it
at
before
the
he
same
retired.
time.
I heard it in
So-
January of 2022.
Yeah,
He
it
sent
was somewhere
me,
around there too.
Cameo,
When he got that
and he told me
contract,
that he was
He
going to
told
do
me
it.
in his
When he got that
cameo.
contract, there was a clause in it at the end of it. That's what
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you transition seamlessly.
why
Yeah,
he-
you have a
That's
couple
why he
years
kept
away from
blowing
the
us
work,
off.
and he'll come on back.
Probably. When they when he was drafted by Buffalo, I think that's when it came out.
I love that you two were hoarding information that you didn't tell us.
Hey, pretty sure we did.
I think we brought.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think-
think that's true.
I didn't hear
This
it.
is the first episode.
But hey, let
We
those
have people who
insiders have
listen,
it.
so perhaps they'll let us know.
Yeah, somebody let us know if Tyler and Liam
I
are
feel like
being
it's new.
information
It's
hoarders.
new news to me. So
New news to me. I
Just
wrote
to me.
about it on the site, and it was new news to a lot of people that read it. So, are Tyler and Liam selfish with their information? Yes, no. Let us know.
perhaps
Maybe so.
Something to consider.
Good pop.
Pepsi Lime.
Pepsi Lime
Say 0.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of
Haven't
10.
they had those for a long
Could I
time?
mix a little
silly.
rumsky in there and feel like,
Oh, buddy. Forget about it.
all right.
Little whiskey in there.
All right. Finally, just to wrap up the news section before we get into a little bit of betting talk, I got some goalie over-unders for you, boys.
For wins?
Yep, for wins. So just something to think about. The schedule for this week, the Oilers play this weekend, kind of.
Like today or tomorrow?
Sunday,
Sunday.
4 p.m. versus the Winnipeg Jets. That is on Oilers Plus. And then on Monday, they've got a split squad here and in Calgary against the Flams. They are in Winnipeg on Wednesday, and then they are playing back here on Saturday versus Seattle.
Can I give a PSA?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of these games will be on Oilers Plus, like you said.
The only games that are not on Oilers Plus are the ones versus the Canucks in week 2.
Sometimes the team that they play just put them on YouTube for free.
Oh,
So if you're looking for the game, just check those out.
I
Because
imagine the
God
Winnipeg
knows it
Jets.
won't be on Sportsnet.
No,
Nope.
'cause it's on Oilers Plus. I imagine the Winnipeg Jets will do that, provided that their dial-up internet can hold that kind of bandwidth.
Yeah.
You know, So there you go. So got some Oilers games on the schedule for this week. I'm just going to say this because I have to. It's in my body, and fucking 8 preseason games is way too many. The minimum that the NHL allows is 6. Max is 8. Of course, the Oilers always go max. Drives me nuts. I know these aren't for me. They're to get a couple of extra shekels out of the concessions and stuff at Rogers Place and also for the prospects, but like way too long.
How many split squad games do they have?
Just the ones on Monday.
Okay. I don't mind those. Like, if they're going to do those, that's fine.
So I guess technically 7.
Count as 2 games?
Yeah.
You kind of, because I got to write 2 different things for it.
Yeah.
Counts as 2 of the 8, though, yeah.
I think you just use the same
Copy
same
paste.
article. Yeah.
Yeah, change the picture maybe?
Change the picture.
They're
and
playing
change
the
out team
Flames,
names.
right?
Yeah.
So
You don't have to change anything.
You should just write one generic one for the game here, and then get like one of the Flames Nation writers to write one there, and then just copy and paste them, put them on
A little swapsies.
a little trade, one for one.
Working
Or just
efficiently.
link and be like, if you want to report this.
Just working efficiently. You know what? We're working on a new back-end system for all the team sites where, I could potentially just publish one thing to both sites down the line.
Oh, technology.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun posting on Flames Nation when that happens. All right, gentlemen, put your thinking caps on. The betting segment on Oilers Nation Radio is presented by Bet365, proud partner of this very podcast. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. Liam, the promo code, please.
Oily bonus.
Excellent. You guys bet on any foosball last night?
No.
I cleaned up betting on that Thursday nighter.
How
What'd
so?
you do?
I took the Jets straight up -6.5.
Fair.
Brees Hall, same game parlay that had 4+ catches, 25+ receiving yards, 50+ rushing yards, +260. Cash that. Jets win the first half. Aaron Rodgers 200+ yards. Brees Hall TD, same game parlay that I cashed.
You bet on literally every prop in the game.
anything to do with the Jets, and then
I was
also,
like, so far he hasn't picked one thing for the Patriots.
and then Antonio Gibson over 6.5 receiving yards. He caught 2 passes for 8 yards.
Wow, look at you.
Yep, cleaned up.
I
Cleaned up.
did, because Chalmers said it on Real Life, I did Brees Hall anytime touchdown. He hit that. Odds weren't great.
Nah.
Nice little sprinkle. And
Never
then
is.
Aaron and I got a -180. And then Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown +140.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we got some bets here for you, gentlemen. We're going back to the NHL. As I mentioned, talking goalies. Wins. Over, under on wins. And I'm going to give you the odds. I'm just going to ask you. Over, under. Simple this week. Simple.
We're trying to guess the line, or just tell you
Over
I'm
under.
going to give you the line at over and under.
More
And
or
I just
less.
want to know your educated opinion on these goalies. And we are sticking within the Pacific Division, gentlemen.
Okay.
Stuart Skinner, our friend. By the way, great new kit for Stuart Skinner. I think the
I
new
haven't
pads
seen
look
it.
excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, they look nice.
The line is set at 34.5. The over and the under are both -110. Tyler, 34.5 for our boy Stuart Skinner.
last year he started 57 games, won 36 of them. Played in. So yeah, if he started 57,
Yeah, he was 36, 16, and 5 last year.
Campbell to kind of steal a few off the jump. I feel like expecting him to start 57 games again this year is probably likely. And he was such a big part of that 16-game winning streak. I'm going to take the over, but I'm very hesitant on it just because of how tight it's set to his number last year. And again, he was a big part of that 16-game winning streak. Like that inflated his win total a bit. So I'm taking the over, but it's a quarter unit bet for me.
Rick, 34.5 wins for our boy Stu. -10 on either side.
I will take the over, but I think like you, it's going to be pretty close, and he'll only have like 1 or 2 more than he had last year. Like he also had a couple, I'm sure, not so great results early when things weren't going well. So I think those two will counterbalance themselves.
Liam, what you got? 34.5 for our boy Stu.
Yeah, I think I have the same logic as Rick. I think, the 16-game win streak, obviously, but I think this team could win a lot of games in a row again. Their offense is top 6 is at least better than it was last season. So I'll say over and be optimistic for once.
Dan?
I guess I'm going to be negative, but I'm going to say under just because I think that he won't be as relied upon as he was last year in the absence of Jack Campbell. I think that Pickard and or
How many games did
insert-
Pickard play last year?
24.
I think that there's a chance that you might not even see Pickard as the backup goalie, just depending on what happens in camp. But
Well, there were 25 games that Stu didn't start, so Campbell had maybe 4 or 5, so Pickard probably played 20.
23.
I'm going to go over 34.5 because Stuart Skinner is going to do a Martin Brodeur throwback season from the early aughts in which he plays 76 games.
That'll
That
be
is insane.
You know? All right. Next up, and it's interesting that they have him as the favored starter just in general, but that's on the
Skinner
side.
is?
No. For this next one, Aiden Hill is who the books currently have guessing as the
They traded
Vegas
Logan
starter.
Thompson.
Well, they did do that. They did that at the draft, and then he still went and did his autographs.
Yeah.
On the strip. So Aiden Hill, the line is set at 25.5 wins, minus 110 on both sides of the coin.
I think that's an over.
that's an easy over for me. But that's just, I think you're feasting on the fact that the goalie situation is fluid there right now.
So his career high in wins came last year when he won 19. He's always struggled to stay healthy.
35 starts last year.
I think the Golden Knights might take a bit of a step back this year. What's that number again?
You got minus 10 on both sides,
Yeah.
but the line is 25.5.
I'm going under. I think he could maybe win 23 or 24, but the problem with betting season-long props is you're also betting on health and results as a combination. I think there's always a chance Aiden Hill just doesn't stay healthy.
I'm taking the over. I just think that it's a little bit low for Vegas' starter.
The division is so bad.
They're not very good, though. They're
also-
good. They're good.
they're
They're
better
not
than-
what they used to be.
No, I completely agree, but I just think the bottom teams are
And didn't they have a 3-goalie monster last year?
And
3.
they brought in Ilya Samsonov as their backup, too. Like, I don't know,
You
man.
could have a guy eating his. He may not be the starter come November. I'm going on the under.
And they have Nico Dawes. I'm going under.
Let's move on to the Los Angeles Kings.
Did Dan give an over under?
I said over. I started it.
Cam Talbot.
He's the one they have down?
He's the one that they currently have down.
He's not on LA. He plays for Detroit.
Darcy Kemper's on LA.
Oh, he did, yeah. Well, we're doing Cam Talbot.
How many wins he'll have in Detroit?
What's the number?
I
Did you
just
see how many goalies Detroit has?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's why I want to know the number.
Insane.
All right, well, you want to play or not?
What's the number?
Here, I don't pay attention to Cam Talbot anymore, Liam. 22.5
Under.
Oh, my God.
Under.
Oh, minus 110 on both sides?
over, minus 130. Under, even money.
But yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
This right now.
There's 32 goaltenders in that system.
So there's Ville
Including Cam
Husso,
Talbot.
Alex Lyon, Jack Campbell,
And another one.
and then they also have Sebastian Kosu, who's their first round pick from like 3 years ago.
Yep.
That might be ready.
Former Los Angeles King Cam Talbot.
That is crazy.
So there you go. Under plus 100.
Whoa.
Next up, we're going down the highway. This time I know for a fact he
Jacob
still plays there.
Markstrom.
He still plays there. Dustin Wolf.
Attaboy.
Over minus 115. Under minus 105. The line is set at 20.5 wins.
I'm
That's a
going to
tough
say,
one.
I think he's actually going to be a good goalie.
I think he's going to get a lot
But
of
I think-
workload.
20 wins? How many wins is Calgary going to have this season?
20.
They may have 20 wins.
Yeah,
No, they should. Yeah, like they actually, yeah, they might have 25 wins because they'll probably rack up 8 OT losses, be a 58 to 64 point team. I'll take the under on that.
I'm also.
They're not going to play the hell out of him either because he's a kid.
Dan, what you got?
Sorry, say it again.
The line is set at 20.5 for Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, I say under just because I think that they're gonna be trying different things, and Wolf won't be their guy all year.
We're going to Seattle, gentlemen. Philip Grubauer. He is the expected starter per the money line, or the books anyway. Minus 115 over, minus 105 under. This line is set at 17.5.
Grubauer?
What's the rest of the goalie
17 and a
situation?
half.
Joey Decord took over the bulk of the starts last year.
Yeah.
That feels like another.
17.5 for
Yeah.
Philip Grubauer.
But Joey Decore, I mean, he could totally just flip. Just for the record, Jacob Markstrom had 23 wins on the Flames last season.
Starting how many games?
48. So,
Like,
They are joking.
Yeah.
no way Wolf's hitting that.
Philip
What about Philip
Grubauer.
Grubauer, though, Tyler? 17.5 wins. Can he clear it or no?
I like the
That's
under
that
in
one's
too.
over. That one's over.
Got an over. Dan, you got a guess on Philip Grubauer in Seattle?
I'm going to say I think that's the team that takes a further step back, so I'm going to say under.
Is he a free agent this year?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. He's close.
I'm gambling right now.
Well, you guys look that up. Let's wrap up the betting segment here for our friends at Bet365. I thought this one was just funny. Anaheim, John Gibson, over -115, under -105. The line is set at 14.5 wins.
Whoa.
My God.
Do you know what?
That might be the over, though.
I think that's an over. I think Anaheim's going to be a
Even if Dostal ends up playing a bit more, like
14.
I feel like they could get to 30 wins this year, so 15 for each goalie is like probably fine.
I mean,
they might
he
be able to
had
get, like,
13 last year in 46 starts and
Yeah, but, like,
14 in 53 the
they'll
year
be
before.
better. Like,
That's what I mean.
They should be able to win 35 games this year, if we're being honest. So, like, why can he not win 15 of them? I
Over.
like that
What's the
over.
line on the over?
The line on the over, Liam, glad you asked, -115.
I'm in.
All right.
Over.
There you go.
Anything for the Sharks?
I didn't even look at the Sharks.
Damn it. Under.
Yep, probably under. Dan, you got a line on Anaheim goalie?
Yeah,
John
I'm
Gibson?
going over on that one for sure. There's an opportunity there between him and Dostal.
There you go.
Damn.
Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. Coming up next, I've got 4 questions. Ask the idiots. And this is for the nation vacation to Denver. We are going down November 29th to December 3rd. We're going to have a viewing party. Edmonton, Utah. That's the first night we get there. The next day, we are going Edmonton, Colorado. We got tickets.
Ooh.
On the Monday, we're going to go watch the Denver Broncos against the Cleveland Browns. Tyler is now being wearing a Browns jersey to the game.
Yes.
What?
Where'd this
I'm
come
riding with Jay.
That is insane.
Company man. You know? Chalmers is supposed to give me his Broncos jacket to wear so I can high five the locals.
I also want to bet on a team, so I want to bet on the Browns. I'm not betting on the Broncos.
I
from?
mean,
We're not even there yet.
Well, like, why can't I bet on the Browns wearing Chalmers Broncos jacket?
You can.
Anyway, we're over halfway sold out on this trip. That's what I really wanted to say. Nationgear.ca. If you want to come with us, do not delay. I promise you it's going to sell out, and you're going to be sad when we're all there. That's it. That's all I got to say.
You think they got a Taco Bell cantina?
In Denver?
Yeah.
no.
Hang on. I got
What
the
do they got?
technology.
I don't know. Probably ice cream shops.
They've got Otra Vez Cantina.
Ultravet.
Mm.
Isn't that
No.
a nasal spray?
Nothing near Denver.
Uh-huh. Pretty sure. They got a Kachina Cantina in Denver. I don't know what that is. Sounds
Is that
fun.
a
though.
shot?
Nation Vacation is available at nationgear.ca. Join us. 4 questions, Ask the Idiots. Boys, we got to rip through these. Dan, I'm going to start with you down the end of the line. This comes in from Alan. With the Flames expected to be awful this season, who do you see as the Oilers' biggest in-division rival and why?
Who is the biggest in-division rival?
Mhm.
I think it's... I still want to say Vegas just because I feel like they are they're still riding that championship trophy. I don't think that they're going to be the best team in the division. I think that it's probably going to end up being the Canucks, but I want to say it's Vegas myself.
Liam, what do you got?
So this is purely based off them trying to compete for the division, right?
Or you could frame it a few different ways. Like,
Because
who
I
do you
think their
is gonna
biggest
have
rival
this-
is still Calgary, no matter what. But I guess Vegas, I think Vegas will be a little bit better than Vancouver this season. Because I think Vancouver will just take a slight step back. Because Demko's great, don't get me wrong, but
He's not playing.
never plays.
Tyler, who's the biggest in-division rival?
Things that go into rivalries, how close you are, how big the games are when you
Yeah.
go head-to-head, and the fan bases. As much as I think the players hate Vegas, I don't feel like there's a big fan base hatred between the Oilers and the Golden Knights.
No, they're quite lovely, actually.
Yeah, they're very nice people.
don't
Canucks
have any
fans,
fans.
Canucks
It's all-
fans suck. So
It's all away fans there.
no, the fans we meet when we're down there are always cool.
There.
Rick,
So,
who's the in-division
Their
rival?
biggest
if it can't be the
obstacle
Flames?
is still, like it was last year themselves, their biggest rivalry will be Vancouver, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on Vancouver. I'm looking at the full picture, like Tyler. Their fan base is like I still have them in my mentions on Twitter quite often,
on the
complaining
tip of their
about
tongue.
whatever. Yeah, rent free. So I'm going to say the Canucks as well. Reversing the order, Rick, you're up first. Question number 2. Was listening to Better Late Than Never last night. Shout out to you, Greg, for the plug. And we were talking about the Ty Ratty Award in the voicemails. I want to know everyone's official pick for the Ty Ratty Award, which is, reminder, preseason champ, individual champ, with Sunday being the first preseason game against the Jets. Who is your pick for the Ty Ratty Award 2024?
Unlike most Ty Ratty Award winners, I believe this will lead into a season, a helpful season for him, a positive season for him, and it's Raph Lavoie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think it's his time. He needs to.
He almost needs a Ty Ratty Award.
He needs to take a spot in the top 12, which I think he will, and I think it'll just roll over into this regular season for him.
Tyler Yaremchuk, may I please have your selection for your official pick on the Ty Ratty Award in 2024?
Vasily Podkolzin. We're already getting the fun sound bites. He's going to score a couple goals. We're going to rub it in Canucks fans' faces. Podkolzin.
I'm just going to tag on Tyler. I'm also picking Vasily Podkolzin as my Ty Ratty Award winner.
Supposed to be a really good person, too, by the way.
Saw him
Good.
at IKEA yesterday.
Good. And really, what was he getting? A Billy bookcase?
He was getting a whole bunch of stuff, and I told
Did you offer to help him take it to his car?
No, but we made eye contact and then just gave the little head nod thing because it was I'm probably the only person in the IKEA who would look at him and be like, "That's Vasily Podkolzin."
What were you looking for?
I was getting a new wardrobe stand, and I got new recycling bins from my back door. They're sick. They're sick. Anyways, told this story on ONE.
At some point, you turned 40. You
I
didn't
know.
invite me to the
Oh,
party.
that's 50 something, man.
It's I saw him, and then our trip kind of synced up. And as we were going through the downstairs area, we just kept walking past each other, and it was very sorry.
I'm also with you, Tyler. I think Vasily Podkolzin, he's got a fresh start. I loved his little quotes yesterday. It's fun. They go, "Oh, the weather's nicer in Vancouver." He goes, "I'm Russian. I don't care."
Yeah.
Fucking love it. Liam, who's your pick? Ty Ratty Award winner 2024.
Did Ben Gleason win last season?
Maybe.
Last season, it might have been Jack Campbell last year. I don't remember. I'd have to check the record book.
Okay. I wonder what James Hamlin can do.
Sure.
I'll go with Jimmy.
Little
So
hometown pick.
New
Jimmy H?
number. A guy people will recognize. I think I'll go
Played
Jimmy.
some games with the big
Yeah.
dogs last year.
I like him. I don't know how much of a shot he has. I feel like he's been written off a little bit already. So, Jimmy.
Dan, who's your pick? The 2024 Ty Ratty Award winner.
I think people are going to like the heck out of Ty Emberson by the end of the training camp.
And that's going to be an interesting one because on forwards, it's easy metrics to measure. Goals, assists, points, but on a defenseman, it's trickier. I
think-
like the pick.
Gotta watch.
I think just a
like
little
the
bit
pick.
more of a hard nose there with the Darnell Nurse pairing. So I think people are going to like him.
This next one comes in from Dukes, not Dukes. He's our friend down under. Tyler, I'm going to start with you. If you could ban one of your fellow podcast members from one activity for the entire year, who would it be and what would it be? I am banning Tyler from playing golf. It's just mean.
I was going to say, is there a
Just mean.
reason why we're doing something like this?
I think it's
Purely
you know,
vindictive.
for love of the game. You can go whichever way you'd like.
I ban Liam from complaining about the schedule.
That's a good one.
Oh,
He's
he's
rattled.
shaking his head already.
It's
No, you can't do it.
It's so dumb.
You've been banned.
The start of the season.
It's the stupidest thing
Banished.
already.
I thought
Okay,
you were gonna
Liam.
ban me from having brewer's yeast.
I haven't had my pick yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said golf.
That's Dukes' pick.
Oh, that
No,
was
I don't want to. I don't want to rob you of your
Don't
activities.
do that.
Liam, your counter. Who are you banning on the podcast from what and why?
Can you come back to me?
Sure. Dan, who are you banning from the podcast from whatever activity?
Well, this is, I don't know. It just seems so mean.
It's not.
Rick, do you have one?
Yes.
That's nice and positive. Go ahead.
Sort of. Not really, but yes. And it's already mentioned, but it's Tyler in the beers. If you came to Seattle, you know damn well why.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is gross.
Whatever.
That
Like there's vodkas out there. You
Yeah.
like the lime Pepsi.
I like
A little get a little
brewski.
rye in there, no problem. A
That
little rum.
The heart wants what it wants.
theater where we saw Aqua has not had a bug since November in the building.
That wallpaper just won't stay up.
It will not.
Just keeps on rolling.
They've
Windows
changed
have been
the
open
air
since.
filters. They've changed the fucking seals.
Still
Oh,
got a
I
bit
can't
of a
even think.
funk
I'll
in
take
there.
away Liam's ability to gamble on anything not hockey.
Oh,
That's probably a good thing.
Now he's buying two hoses.
I'm gonna ban Rick from going to the gym, so he's doughy like the rest of us.
Good call.
You know, Dan, you got anything? You banning for somebody?
What do you mean me?
You mean
Or,
Liam.
sorry, Liam.
Looked right at you and said, Dan.
It's such a difficult one. I don't want you guys to not have fun. But I'm gonna I'm gonna ban Can I ban Waz from something?
Sure.
Can't mention Derek Ryan anymore.
Oh, that'd be heartbreaking.
The
You
funny-
didn't want to ruin his fun, you said.
Well, too bad.
Now he is.
Ban him from the football game.
No, I enjoy watching that because I'm not better than Tyler and I'm better than Waz at it.
I loved the video. Go to Liam's Twitter and look at the video he posted of Waz missing. What did you say?
He missed 17
How many consecutive free throws on our little
17
basketball hoop?
in a row. That guy does not know how to throw
Impressive.
anything.
I can't wait for him to hear this part.
He's got to. What he should do is drop down to his knees so you get a little more of that natural.
Yeah.
I think actually that's what I'm going to say. Waz can't throw the ball anymore.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Or
For our
any
own
ball.
Yeah, anything.
You can't throw any ball.
He's
for
such
1
a
year.
funny athlete, and like not in like a negative. Like I don't mean that to be like don't play sports because he should, and I'm glad he does it. But like I'll never forget the day we played. Waz and I played in the same men's league against each other, and he just absolutely cleaned out somebody, and it was a penalty. And he said, "What did I do?" And he's like, "Dude, he's literally kicked his ankles together." It was very
Are
funny.
you allowed to do that?
No.
Yeah, rats. They just take all the fun out of sports.
They do.
Final question. Ask the idiots for the nation vacation down to Denver. I'm going to start with Liam this time. If you could do any job in the world that has no tie to sports, what would you choose and why?
I think I just retire.
You just don't want to work.
I did that
It's gonna be
for
tough
so
to
long.
pay the
and
mortgage.
It sucked.
You're going to have to
Um,
go to Michael's and manage the frame department again.
What? I'll just go back to what I know. Old reliable. When I worked at Michael's and I was in the framing department, that was kind of cool. Like the stuff people would bring in, like it was something different every day.
Sure.
So I'd say that.
Dan, you can't be in sports, but what's your job? What are you doing? You can do
Literally
anything in
all
the
I've
world.
known for like the last 20 years of my life. But I would go probably either back to teaching people board games for
It was a job.
Yeah, it was at a game cafe. It was a side job with my sports job, but I would do that or just sell cannabis at a cannabis store.
Selling that weed. Tyler, what are you doing?
Someday.
Get into the family business of residential plumbing. Oh yeah, that's funny. Why don't you want to tell my dad? Why are you laughing? Why would you be laughing at that? Something wrong with it? Noble trade. Shout out Star Mechanical.
Good trade. I couldn't
can't see you
imagine
plumbing
doing it. We
anything, to be
literally
honest.
complained on the show today that the fact that we had to come in for 3 extra days this week.
Yep.
It
I said I'm
works like
exhausted.
4 hours. And we're like, oh, we earned the weekend.
Somebody just listening to this now is pissed off. Rick, what are you doing?
I'll just
Can't be
stick.
involved in sports.
I'll just stick to the day job there and keep running bars.
You know what?
Well, that's
You're not allowed
bullshit.
to
Rick
do
has
that.
a real job.
You're not allowed to do that. I'm taking bars off the table. I'm
Take it.
amending the question.
Oh, now we're going into something that I've never done anything otherwise.
Oh, welcome to the other 3 people's lives who just gave answers.
You know what? Let's give it some. I only want this in the summertime, definitely not the winter. But I'll get into some landscaping.
Ooh, I think it'd be nice and relaxing, actually.
My friend did landscaping once in Hawaii for a summer.
That's a nice gig.
Said it was the greatest thing ever. He actually enjoyed going to work every day.
I would. I like to travel, so I'd probably bounce around teaching English.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I met people when I was traveling that did it. As long as you've got a degree of some kind, you're kind of allowed to do it in some countries. So I think that's what I would probably do. Ask the idiots. NationGear.ca. Book a spot on the Nation Vacation. Gentlemen, let's wrap up the podcast. NationGear.ca. Go get yourself some fresh threads. It is time for hot and cold performers. I'm going to start down at the end of the line. Nation Dan, as we do with our as we do every week, we start with our veggies. Your cold performer of the week for NationGear.ca.
My cold performer of the week is going to go to a team that just does things the exact same way every time. You get what you expect out of them, but it's going to just continue to be cold for me. It's the Vegas Golden Knights for upon hearing the news that Robin Lehner had missed their medical, not that they try and figure out, is there an issue? Is the snake farm business not going well? What is it? It's we're going to terminate his contract, and we're going to figure out. We're exploring all the options, including terminating his contract. So it's the Vegas Golden Knights for continuing to be the ruthless organization that they are, that now you're starting to hear former players not be fans of, like Jonathan Marchessault doing his sound clip there the other day. Vegas Golden Knights get my Cold Performer of the Week.
Worst.
Liam, you're up next. NationGear.ca, Cold Performer of the Week.
Well, Tyler banned me, but I'm going to do it anyway. The NHL schedule in North America this season starts at 1 p.m. in Seattle on a Tuesday.
But, like, we could watch that here.
But it's stupid.
You take no umbrage with the first matchup, though, just for the record, right?
Well, what do you mean?
The European matchup.
The Europe thing is what it is. Like, I get it. I don't really have any qualms with that.
What time do you think the first game should start on Tuesday?
I think the first game of the season, and I think this should be for every North American sport, should be the winner, the previous champion, should be the first game of the year, and they should raise their banner. And Florida is the second game, and they are the primetime game against Boston. Great matchup,
Terrible.
but it's stupid. Once again.
Oh, that's cold.
Like, besides Tyler,
Counter.
it's stupid time to start, right?
Counter. You don't think we're going to be out there betting on a game we don't care
Totally.
about at 1 o'clock in the afternoon
But it's
on
so
Tuesday?
random, too. Like, Seattle, St. Louis. Like, what are we doing?
The teams
It's just
bother
dumb.
me more than the start time.
See, and
Yeah,
that's
maybe
where.
that's it, too.
Baseball
I don't
can
know.
play at 9 o'clock in the morning.
But baseball's stupid as well.
First of all,
But
this
it
is
what it is.
This is the sign in the office now that
We
the
are
season
back,
is back
baby.
because
We're arguing
because
about the
yesterday
schedule.
Liam just went on a tirade about.
Also, when
this.
I disagreed with him, he like didn't talk to me for an hour because he was so
Because
angry.
You were yelling
Yes.
in my ear, and
Because-
you weren't even countering
Yes,
my
he did.
point.
He did. I will say.
Your counterpoint was St. Louis has to start the season at some point.
Yes, your counterpoint was that all 32 teams. Tyler's counterpoint was all 32
That's not an
teams
argument.
do have to play a game at
Yeah,
some point.
no kidding.
Yeah.
But why not make a good matchup?
The primetime games are good matchups.
Yes, but your opening game of the season is at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday.
So you're angry that they put a bad matchup in a time slot that people aren't going to watch.
Yeah, it's the first game of the season.
But he's also putting, he's putting some prestige on the first game of the season.
It should mean something. Every year in the NFL, the Thursday night game is a Super Bowl winning team. It's the same. It's just. I just think
But
that's
to me,
how it should be.
I guess, like as somebody, lifelong Vikings fan since week 1,
3 weeks now, almost.
3 weeks in, the NFL only has 17 games on their schedule. The NHL has so many fucking games that like.
But you're asking them to do one change, and the entire schedule. It's going to be different every
I
week.
find
and I get it.
what I find interesting about this is that you're fired. I've never thought about it nor cared about it.
I
at
just
all.
think it's dumb.
It's
and I
like,
think-
when do the Oilers play? That's
There's
what
not
I
a
care
I
about.
don't
Canadian
even know
team
when the
playing
Oilers'
in the
first
first
game
day.
is.
The
No,
ninth, the ninth. It's a Wednesday.
I just think it's dumb, and I think the NHL, who we all complain about the marketing, and this is just another layer of it. That's stupid.
I think that yesterday you brought up the fact that you thought that it should be on a Saturday, not a Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with them if it starts at 5, like whatever. Like I think the game last year was 4:30 or something like that. Whatever, but it's just dumb.
Tyler.
Can I get a
You're-
button?
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
cold.
Tyler, you're up next. You were NationGear.ca Cold Performer of the Week.
Man, I'm honestly, I feel like I had a really good week. I'm having a really hard time. Oh, you know what? Cold Performer of the Week is going to go to Flames fans who trolled Oilers fans about their jersey sponsor for like a week and were like, oh, the Flames would never. Then the Flames just did it. They're my Cold Performer of the Week.
Who's there? Sponsor.
Same one.
Rascals. Rick, you're up next. Your NationGear.ca Cold Performer of the Week.
It's to the NFL and the way they hand out their fines. They fined Derek Carr $14,000 for doing the Michael Jackson celebration in the end zone. And then they fined, what exactly is
Was
this
it Drake
guy's
London?
name? Sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
I can't remember his name, but they fined another dude who got up on the sidelines, got up off, and just punched a dude in the face.
Oh yeah.
You
It
can't
had
do
nothing
that.
to do with the play. The dude wasn't even on the field. Just happened to be standing there. Got up, punched him in the face. He got $11,000.
Well, it's based off percentage of your contract.
Fine, whatever. There's no way that a celebration
It is dumb. I agree.
should be fined at a higher rate than getting up and punching a dude in the face.
What order did they find them in? Nothing. Just
Yeah, that I
move
don't
on.
know.
All right, there's your button.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
All I wanted to do was say the worst thing I could possibly think of during your cold performer, but I kept it inside. That's personal growth. Personal growth. Now neither Liam nor Tyler has to edit it out of the podcast because I didn't even say it. I didn't even say it. Cold performer for me is I'm not banned from complaining about the schedule. So 8 preseason games sucks a bag of rocks. I hate it. It's so annoying. Let's just go.
What the hell is going on?
Excellent. Reversing the order, Ricky up first. Hot performer of the week for nationgear.ca.
This one goes out to Skip Schumacher and not walking Shohei at any point last night. In fact, I believe they caught him on camera saying something about having too much respect for the game and the player itself to walk him and allowing that to happen. Like what happened last night with Shohei was phenomenal. The only thing ever kept coming close to that is Gretzky's probably 5 goals in the night he got 39, or the fact he got 4 goals the game before that, so he got 9 goals in the 2 games before, getting 50 and 39. But yeah, what Shohei did last night was insane.
The big guy is smoking hot.
I'm just jumping in because I wore my Shohei jersey today. Shout out to Otani. He is an absolute unit.
Pour it on.
Tyler, up next, nationgear.ca, your hot performer of the week.
I'll go a different direction then. Edmonton native, former Edmonton Oil King, Dylan Gunther signed an 8-year deal worth $7 million or $8 million a season with the Utah Hockey Club. Shout out to a good Edmonton boy and good former Oil King on getting the big bag.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Liam, nationgear.ca, hot performer of the week is...
The Sherwood Park Crusaders season starts tonight, and the staff worked hard over the summer to get the team where we're at. Home opener tomorrow against Penticton. 17 NCAA commits to start the year.
Woo! Friday, baby! Yeah, let's celebrate Friday! Woo!
Nation Dan, nationgear.ca, hot performer of the week.
This is like a throwback to the old people in the room, but for the first time I can't even remember, I saw a gas war this week in Edmonton where 2 gas stations across the street from each other actually had different prices, which never happens. It used to happen back in the day. So the gas prices this week are going to get my hot performer of the week.
Which way were they going, though? Up or down?
Down.
Okay, good.
Down. I know. Yeah, the proper gas war.
I can make them more than
54. This is ridiculous.
A real gas war happened this week.
Trudeau.
Something to think about. Finally, just one bonus hot performer of the week for nationgear.ca. I thought it was really cool last night going on his Instagram and see him celebrate with the Cleveland.
Yeah, they clinched last night.
Yeah, they clinched last night. They did a little celebration in the room. Seeing our boy Eric Sabrowski celebrating and having the goggles on the whole thing. I'm pumped for him.
He's a hot guy.
Better be on that playoff roster. Also, I bet on the Cleveland Guardians to win the World Series today.
There you go.
I don't know about the goggles, man.
Oh, I agree with you completely. You take it in the eyes like a champ.
You got to tough out the pain.
Yep, I agree with you.
Sorry.
Listen, I've got another really awful thing I want to say right now, but I'm not gonna. Personal growth.
I don't like this personal growth thing.
I'll tell you after.
I know. Turn this thing off, please.
Anyway, any final thoughts? Oh, we could do it. Score prediction. Sunday's preseason game. We got to do it. We haven't done them in a while. Dan, remind me. Hang on. What page is that on? This one?
Yep.
This one. There we go. Score prediction time. Preseason game coming up Sunday at 4 p.m. Rogers Place. Edmonton Oilers, Winnipeg Jets. Kinda.
It's in Edmonton.
It is. Liam, your score prediction.
Oh, my goodness. 2-1.
Every game counts.
5-3 Oilers.
Dan?
4-2 Jets.
6-1 for the good guys.
Should I do it, Tyler? 12-1 Oilers.
Oh, whoa.
Let's go. Preseason.
Oilers got to end this losing streak. 4 in a row so far.
Let's go. Season's here, people.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.